Greetings and salutations, gamers. This is Siltown coming to you live on 8/3/2023. Today we'll be playing some Everquest. We'll be going in and doing Ritual of Terror. This time we got better explanation and information out to the people who will be doing certain things. So we should be able to beat this relatively pretty quick and move on to the Tier 2 HoT raids. That's what we're planning for tonight. Wish us luck. I'm pretty sure we're going to get there and do that. So with that being said, sit back and relax and enjoy. We're about to head on out to the Ritual of Terror and get that started here momentarily because our buffing is done. Um, anyhow, um, I want to thank everybody for taking time to watch. I really appreciate it. And I hope you continue to watch and enjoy the show that we have offered you this evening. We will have another episode of EverQuest on Saturday around 7 o'clock, the usual time. If we do get past Ritual Terror tonight, which I believe we will be doing more T2, maybe even pushing into T3 of HOT raids. This Ritual of Terror is one of the harder ones of the X-Pack, so we're pretty sure we're going to get past it. So, anyhow, with that being said, it'll be interesting to see how things progress tonight. There we go. It's getting up certain spells. Pet's fully done. All Pharaoh targets is up. Good. They're finishing up the conversation for the Ritual of Terror, what we're doing, getting groups set for the who's taking what. Okay. As you can see, that's also putting what we're in and doing there as well. It's going to meet up inside House of Thule. There's free what. You always got to check that guild port. You got to make sure you know where you're going. You can't just click OK. Oh, jeez. Just a heads up, someone ahead of us already trained. So if you're running on Kindle Path, there's a bunch of undead walking back. Damn it. There we go. Well, there goes my fully buffed pet because of Legion Dead 3. Nice job, guys. They're basically training the damn zone line. Nasty. Oh well. I tried to pull what I had away from the area. Yeah, I'm pretty much fine. There we go. All right, cool. Sweet. All right, that's good. Looks like I'm with the raids. So I'm with the entire raid. So which group is going to handle the ads coming from the temple as we fight the bosses? Is there a group assigned for the ads coming from the temple? Yeah. Okay. So what they're going to do with the ads that come from the temple is we're not going to put a group there to fight them. We're going to have someone kite them this time around. No damage kite. Be interesting. Right now they're going through the lineups again, making sure everybody knows what they're supposed to be doing. This time we're making sure we get this in one shot. All right, they're getting ready. They're telling us prime TPs. Nice. Let's see here. There we go. We're all set there. Have that set as a timer. Actually, that'll be the timer. Once that's gone, I know it's time. Start rebuffing. All right. They're starting to get pulls coming in. Lag. What the heck is... Oh, Charmin. Okay, that's weird. We thought it was lag. Oops, forgot to put Gina up. There we go. Second group on the way. Keep an eye on Dust's health.
Silv Talon, you woke a mob.
Someone shot out an AEMS. Okay, we're moving up around the corner. We're moving to the ramp. Third set on the way. Wow, he died. Yeah, they hit like a truck, though. That's why they try to make sure they keep healing the tank as they come in.
Silt Talon,
Damn it.
you woke a mob.
That was my bad. Sorry about that. Yeah, that was my bad there. I was a little too quick on the trigger, so to speak. Okay, fourth group. Wow, he's getting hit hard. Damn.
Silt Talon, you woke a mob.
That was not me. Focused on Dusk. I think I'll need to throw another focused on him.
Gift of Mana.
Another focused on Dusk. Tossing third focused on Dusk. That should do it for him. 50% mana is good enough. He can regenerate the rest. Whoa. Couple people dropped.
Gift of Mana.
You need this mana.
Lothar mass group buff used. Lothar mass group buff used.
Yeah, Aura of Renewal seems to be causing endurance loss to groups. So what you have to do is turn it off and turn it back on. Okay, I'll start doing rebuffs. All right, we're getting prepared for the gorilla right now. And we're getting the buffs set up for those who have died. So we're making sure our resources are at full for this next part of the fight. Well, anyways, they found out about that Beastlord issue with our promise mending not working. It's actually caused by a promise renewal off the mercenaries. It's blocking our promise mending and the promise mending line. So pretty much, you can't use promise mending as a beast lord if you're using a mercenary. But you can use it in raids since it doesn't clash with the player version. Usually, beast lord pet won't be getting something like that on them. Going through and rebuffing Pharaoh for the 9 people that I have, 8 people I have. Yeah, we were waiting for the endurance issue to get fixed with the bards. Paragon only works for the mana. Don't need to be watching him anymore. Yeah. Wow. We're trying to figure out what is causing that drain on us. All right, there we go. All right, we're moving on to the gorilla fight. Here we go. We're on the gorilla fight.
Gift of mana. Gift of mana.
Okay, first mini boss in about half a minute, about 50 seconds. Damn! Almost 3K attack. That's pretty awesome. I need to get some more of the group gear from SS. That's the tier 4 zone in this expansion. I only have 3 pieces of it. Alright, here he comes. The Boogie Monster. Some heals in first, help stabilize. Okay, send pet in. Stay at max range.
Gift of Mana.
Tied.
Gift of Mana.
Love that gift of mana. A thought leader. Okay, that's dead.
Gift of Mana. Gift of Mana. Gift of mana. Gift of mana. DA on end.
Trying to keep
Gift of mana.
Balk up. Holy shit. Alright, he's got DA probably, I think, on him.
True mass group buff used. True mass group buff used.
Alright, there we go. Who needs the Balk needs it. Getting all the ads taken care of first. Okay, Kanata. Don't have it up yet. Don't know where that spider is. There it is. Alright. Nightmare, we're getting down. Okay, there we go. There we go. Damn.
Gift of mana.
Katana.
Gift of mana. Failed to feign death. FD fail.
There we go. Okay, here we go. We got all the glyph holders.
Failed to feign death. FD fail. Failed to feign death. Stand up. Silt Talon stand up. FD fail. Sit to remove debuff. Gift of mana.
Oh, jeez. Okay, we got Terror almost down. We're trying to push it right now. Trying to get back in as quickly as possible. See where we're at here. Only one left. Damn. We're still trying to resolve this. All right. Damn. It reset. That's the furthest we got so far. We got two and a. Yep. Yep. We're gonna get it tonight. That's for sure. So are we going to continue to try to kite the ads as they come? Yeah, I think if we had a group killing the ads, I think we would have been able to handle that pretty well. We did go the furthest we've gone before, which was good. He tosses here, good. Get him on the next one. Okay, so the minor change is in between bosses, we'll kill all the ads, move on, kill a boss, come back, kill all the ads, move on, back and forth. That's how we'll handle it from here. We had 2 bosses down before we got overrun by ads. definitely get past this tonight. We got halfway through on our first attempt. That's the furthest we've gotten in 2 weeks. So, actually, since last week when we started this. Because the first week we didn't raid, we were doing catch up with the progression so everybody can get in the higher zones. And that's been a big help with leveling in AAs. So a lot of us are getting up there. It's just taking some time. We do have some boxes in the raid right now, but it's mainly 96% main accounts. Everybody has SC2, right? Okay, that's everyone. It's mainly for trash. All right, round two. I'm pretty sure we'll get it this time. Man, those ads hit hard. Like, okay, I got hit twice and I'm down. I got like 63,000 health when I use this buff. Or 60, about 60. We're almost ready to start this. Okay, priming TB. Alright, we're starting on the first batch trash.
Gift of mana. That's one group.
3 coming in. Okay, that's pretty good. Group 4 coming in. Okay, looks like they got a lockdown. I always keep healing until the first ad, until all ads are locked down. Because the extra healing from like a Beastlord does help a little. And I know they have a bunch of healers on the guy, but it's just extra help. It seems to help a lot, just in case timing of certain heals go off here and there incorrectly. You'd be surprised what a small little heal can do. I believe one more group is needed. Oh, damn it. Well, we'll be fine after this one. Wow. Mana's doing really well. I already thrown one on Dusk. Then I'll hit dust 2 more times. What we're doing is we're getting mana up on people who need it before we pull the last group. Because once we start on the ape, there's no stopping the train that goes. Yeah, Dusk has his second going right now. I'll throw the third in about a minute and a half. Single target. My group is on TB. Oh, this is cast every 2 minutes. Not a big deal. There's no one on my keeler list that needs it. Going through rebuffing Pharaoh. This takes about a couple minutes for me. Yeah, right now we're at the point where we can rebuff, do other things, make sure that everybody knows what they're doing. Because once we kill the next group, we're going to be constantly fighting from here on out. All right. So in this round, once we get to the four bosses, we're gonna have them add the ads that spawn pulled to the raid and killed along with the boss. So we're gonna be basically killing the boss and killing the ad at the same time. So this way we avoid ads running around in the raid. So that's the game plan for the ads. That should work out really well for us. That's just for those who want to know. Yes, today was an incredibly hot day and humid here where I live. Really sucky, but at least this time I was better prepared for it. Just bu- I just bust sprig. I'm like, what the heck? Let's see which one is it. This one, right? Yeah. Here comes the gorilla. Magilla Gorilla.
No heal mass group buff used. No heal mass group buff used. About a minute and a half.
All right, 45 seconds before the first boss spawns. It's like katana. About to give it to myself, but katana's lower than me. There we go. Add.
Failed to feign death. FD fail.
Very nice. Very nice. He's out there.
Gift of mana. Failed to feign death. FD fail. Gift of mana.
Focused on that, dude.
Silt Talon, you woke a mob. Gift of mana. Silt Talon, you woke a mob. DS is off.
Do you want a Paragon right now while we're all grouped? Firing it off.
Balbro mass group buff used. Balbro mass group buff used.
There is ad here with the healers eating them.
Sid to remove debuff. Failed to feign death. FD fail.
Much better.
Sprigalicious mass group buff used. Sprigalicious mass group buff used.
Oh, there we go. Broke it. It was like chained to pull all the way over here. Really weird.
Sid to remove debuff.
All right, congratulations. Yes, we got it. Woohoo! We got it, guys. Phantasm South Temple. All right, we got it. Said we'd get it today. Now we can move on to the T2 stuff, and we're definitely interested in that. All right, let's see here. Wrist to wrist. This is what we got. All right, now let's see here. So that would be a good upgrade for the Crook, and I don't like the Crook. Look. Let me see how much that's going to go for. Yay.
Lothar mass group buff
So
used.
I'll definitely take this.
Lothar mass group buff used.
So Monk and Beast. So how many? Question is how many? Yeah, monks are literally all 200 practically in DKP. Scrubs the same. So it's only me and Scrubs and the monks. So against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total 6 people potentially bidding on that. Be interesting. It's a nice big upgrade for what I have. It's definitely an upgrade from what I have. It would replace this out. And then that will go over there, so I have 2-4 ratio weapons. Alright, so we're waiting for the bidding system to go up. So we got 2 tier, 1 wrist for raid, 2 belts, so total 3 items with weapons plus the 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items going out tonight. Hey, Natman. We got the Ritual of Fear done, finally. Took us a little bit, but we got it. Last week we tried 2 raid nights and we didn't get it. Now we are. Nice. Ah, nice. How's the new server doing for you? Lots of people. Yeah, that's where all the other people from all the other servers ran to. It's so funny because whenever new servers open up, there's tons and tons and tons of people. So they draw off of all the servers that are currently up. We're down to only 10 raiding guilds on Aradune, which is still pretty strong, but we're starting to feel the crunch of people leaving for the newer TPLs. So it's becoming interesting. We lost a few people because of the TPL and a few people who had to change their raid nights. Well, we are in. We're only. We're definitely in the era, in a really good era. The stuff you can get for the gear from the normal zones is really nice.
DA on Steward.
Wow, they're really
Steward mass group buff used.
they're really putting
Steward
points
mass
on that
group buff
weapon.
used.
I am not bidding on that. That Knuckles that I want to get up to 31 DKP. I'm not going for that. No freaking way. I'm not going to be pulled into this bullshit of, yeah, we're going to bid it up to the point where it's really not worth going after it. And if you're desperate enough to get it because you need the DPS, hate that when they do that. Well, with this expansion that we're in right now, you can just kill, if you're able to, or if you're in a group, kill mobs, the name mobs in the new zones, and you can get little orbs that you can turn in to make gear. And the gear from those orbs are equivalent to uh, last era's T3 raid stuff. No, Raging Chunk, I am not going to use up my DKP. I'm going to save it up. I still have pretty decent stuff from last era. I mean, my weapons are kind of there, but they are a little behind. But they are still pretty good. I am solo hunting in a T4 zone, SS zone, Sanctum something, and I've gotten myself the T4 group gear pieces already. And as you can see, these are the 3 ones that I've hunted down myself, killing the named mobs that drop the cores for them. So and I'm going back in there this weekend and doing it again. And the worst part about it is it's a high chance of death for fighting these names because they're level 94, red to me, and what does your tombstone say? So I'm really pushing it. On top of that, I usually get an ad jumped in on that as well while I'm fighting the mob that I want to kill. So those are either white or yellow con. So it becomes a lot of fun. I don't usually die to the mobs that I'm targeting and the extra mob that comes in. Don't die to that at all. I can handle that. I die from when I try to pull something from in the room and my feign death goes, oh, you fall into the ground. Punch, punch, you're dead. Oh, thanks. Thanks. Yeah, that's what's killing me in there is my feigned death going, oh, I'm not working right now. But I got those. I spent a couple hours just basically hunting the mobs. Where I'm hunting them in there is in the ritualist area of the zone. So I'm going after the War Beast, the Callum, and like three other mobs that I'm rotating through the room, slowly killing off the other stuff in the area to get from corridor to corridor. And it's not easy trying to avoid the central room part that has all the cultists just hanging out right there. If I pull any aggro from that area, I'm just gonna drop like a rock. So it's very dangerous, but very rewarding. We're heading to the grounds next. Oh, okay. Now we can turn in these shards. Yeah, you can solo reds with the Merc. Makes it so much easier. Yeah, we're heading to the grounds for our next raid. We're starting on
Gift of
T2
mana.
targets right now. I have no idea what the fight is. I have not done this content, so all this is new to me. So I'm only hearing what they're telling us for strats, and I've never fought these fights. So I'm basically a virgin for these battles. Yeah, I can make so many terrible jokes about that, but that would be a bad idea. Oh, the going through all the X packs are fun. I already did original EQ back when Sony actually had the game and originally launched it. I even beta tested the first EQ along with the World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft, I felt was like, wham bam, thank you, ma'am, here's your loot. EQ was more satisfying to me because you built up your character, you leveled up your character slower, you gained the gear that you need to make your character stronger. I like that type of gameplay. So that's why I don't play World of Warcraft. But I do kind of keep up with it, you know what I mean? Instant satisfaction games tend to be real boring after a while. That's what World of Warcraft is. I I also played the um, if you guys are familiar with it, the Warhammer Fantasy MMO. Oh man, I loved playing as the runt herder, going with the squig tank setup. It was so fun being a squig herder. Yep, I kicked so much butt in that game in PvP as a squig herder. I really pissed off a lot of people. It was so fun. All the unique abilities of the squig herder was just fun. I even got to help with bug squashing for that game too. They pulled me to the side and offered me in-game perks and items for helping them squash bugs. I found like three, which were really interesting. Oh, nice, Raging Chunk. Yeah, but I haven't played it in ages though, so it's a shame. If you ever want to experience an old school but a really good um, hero fight MMO, City of Heroes. They just relaunched as a novelty game, um, and it's done by a private group. They're still around, City Heroes. Star Wars Galaxies, yes, I did play all the way until their second expansion. It was when they did the third ELU change in Star Wars Galaxies. I left because people were getting banned from the servers left and right for um, protesting. So I decided to stop playing after that point. Um, in the grounds, where are we going? All right. I saw a bunch of people running, so I was curious what was going on. Oh, it's. Oh, okay, got it. So, got to zone in at the same time. Sweet. All right. We're gonna go after Thornbustle. I think that's what's going on. Okay. I played COH when they originally launched. Went through a lot of their expansions. Really loved and enjoying playing it. I played a villain, and then when you could go from villain to hero, I went at, to the point where I was not a mercenary, but in between the two, so that way I can join with villains and heroes. It was a lot of fun. I love the PvP zones. I played a Dark Miasma as my main for the healing and buffs and debuffing, and I played robots as my second one. I had super jump, super speed, acrobatics as my movement powers, and I would use the teleport ability to teleport foe to you and just ambush people left and right from the PvP zones in the tar patch and everything, where all their resists, their attack and damage was so debuffed, they were like 10, about 5 levels than what they were, and they were just getting mulched by my robots. And they couldn't run away. It was so funny. Man, did I piss off so many people in the PvP area. It was so fun though. It was even funnier when the the new villains came out with the newer classes. Ah, yeah, true. Well, nobody could get away from me because once I summoned them, I literally had them in a tar pit that you can't jump out of, you can't fly, you can't do anything, and I use aerial ace to knock them on their butt when once they finished the teleport. So I removed all their movement buffs, and their movement buffs were disabled once they hit the tar patch, along with negative AC, negative damage, and resists all reduced. And my robots were just all around them, Gatling gunning the living daylights out of them. Because I would get the robots in a group, put the tar pit in the middle, summon them right in the middle of the robots. So there was no way of getting out of there, and they couldn't really fight back because of all the debuffs. It was so funny. Mm. Looks like at 80% I can't melee this guy. I'll have to just switch to spells. Alright, so what other spell do I want to throw at him? I'll throw that at him as well. I did play Star Wars Galaxies. I played as a Bothlin fencer pistolier. It's a lot of fun. When they did the second ELU change, when they added the similar defenses stacked with each other, I kind of had the idea that my pistolier and my fencer dodge skills would all um, stack, and I was actually right, and it was so funny. What happened was is because they weren't actually counting on that to stack so heavily and high, because that those two classes had the highest dodge buffs of any of the other classes that stack, and if you've got a certain order of it, you went full fencer with a certain couple trees of pistolier. You had so much dodge that you can go up against 20 people in a raid by yourself and fight them off. And I did that against the rebels because I was playing as um, a imperial player. I had when the GMs came to talk to me, they told me I had over 374 complaints from 6 different raids against me for cheating. They said it took us a week. We looked through your data and all the other stuff, and we can't figure out what is really going on here. We know you're not cheating. So, what did you do? And I explained to them, yeah. And I explained to them what I did with my class and why I went this way and what I thought about the ELU changes. This was within 5 days after the ELU 2 change, where they had made all those changes to defenses. Also, I had Terra Kasai in there to heal up my wounds for meditation. You have to have that because if you don't, you're going to get flamed by commandos and not be able to heal those wounds. That was the weakness. The weakness of that build was commandos knocking me on my ass and hitting me with the flamethrower shot. I would survive it, but I would take so many wounds I'd have to use Terra Kasai's meditate to heal all those wounds back before I could even engage because I was at 1 hit point or 2 from all that. And this is from 6 different commandos hitting me at once. So, anyways, go on. I told the GM that this is what I did. And he looked at my character information and goes, Okay, now this makes sense. How did you know about this? I said I was reading your ELU a week when it came out originally and saw that you were doing this, and I decided, okay, I'm going to fix my template over this way to take advantage of taking as many defensive abilities as I possibly could to stack it all up and see how it works. And he puts face palm as a response to that. And he goes, "Have you told anyone about this?" And I go, "No." And he said, "Good. Don't tell anyone about this. We'll be watching your account. If you do, you'll be banned from the game because this information is so broken that we rather have people figure it out themselves instead of having someone going on the forums and posting this or, spreading it by word. We until we can get a patch for this." So I was on a 2 month ban from discussing anything about my template, screenshots, nothing. Just complete silence. I couldn't even tell my friends in the game world, and they knew who my friends were. So if they started showing up as using similar builds in different, stuff, I would get into some trouble as well.
Silv Talon, you woke a mob.
It was so funny. Goodbye.
Silv Talon, you woke a mob.
So that was a fun one. Then shortly after, the LU3 came out, which pissed off tons of people. I can't remove this counter, and there we go.
Gift of mana.
Woo, that's nasty. I better put a disease removal spell. Now, if you want to hear something, the last time I played World of Warcraft was about 2 years ago on one of the expansions. I went back just to play it for just a little bit to mess around. So I was bored, and I decided to make a Blood Elf Paladin. I wanted to try doing that holy rain and hammer combination. You know what I mean? Where you just basically have the whole area around you burning and the explosion from the aura. I wanted to try that. So I leveled up this character away from other players. Yeah, concentration. Thank you. It's been a while since I played. And I kept it away from the mainstream leveling areas. I went to various different places, where nobody would go because they're not popular zones to level up in. You probably want to know why. 1 second. The reason why was because of the name. And I'm going to type it in here. That was the name of the paladin. we killing the small cheap? Oh, it's about 80%, so
Failed to feign
oh yeah,
death.
put pet me.
FD fail.
All right, switching out some of the stuff.
Janine mass group buff used. Janine mass group buff used.
Should have not debuffed. All right. Oh, wrong spell. That's the one I wanted. What I'm doing is just dotting this up.
Gift of mana.
Ah, we just had it. Just all right, man. Take care.
Gift of mana.
So sorry about disrupting that. We got really busy in the fight there because of what was going on. We're learning this fight for the first time. Anyways, as I was saying, with the name Bukake for the Blood Elf Paladin, uh, I leveled up to max level and I went into PvP zones. So I just started PvPing for 2 to 3 hours, just going nuts with the character, using concentration, having fun with it, getting killed, killing, so forth and so on. So let's just put one and one together. What is the kill message for a person, and what's the death message for a person when you kill a character by that name? You've been killed by, and its pronunciation is Bukeki, but people thought it was Bukake. You've been killed by Bukeke. You killed Bukeke. Now let's
Lothar
put it
mass
to
group buff used.
the perverted minds of
Lothar
these
mass group buff used.
PvPers in World of Warcraft that want to find, the stupidest thing to report on. You've been killed by Bukake, and Bukake killed you. You've been... So I logged off for about 2 hours, got something to eat, came back, and I wanted to go on and play some more PvP. I logged in, and I get a message, your character's logged in. Wait 1 moment. I'm like, wait a minute, how's my character logged in? So then I get logged into my character, and the GM goes, oh, I'm sorry. I was just about to name change your character to player 123. Since you're online, I'll give you a free name change. And I go, oh, this is just going to be so fun to troll this GM. Just thinking this right away. And I go, oh, what's going on? Why do I need a name change? I asked. And he goes, well, we gotten a lot of reports from your activities that your name was a little inappropriate, um and we needed to change it. And I go, what do you mean my name is inappropriate? It's pronounced, I separated it, Boo Keke, and put a dash in between. This is how you pronounce it. What's wrong with it? He goes, well, I can't really go into detail, but it's inappropriate. And I go, I fail to understand what's inappropriate. Can you please tell me what's inappropriate about it? Like a description or what you think it is, so forth and so on. And so this went for 45 minutes with the GM and I arguing back and forth. That he doesn't want to say it, he can't say it, he'll get in trouble if he says it or describes it, so forth and so on. And he's literally begging me, just take the name change and go. I'll check a little later to make sure you have an appropriate name. So I logged off, got back in, let me name change to another name, which was appropriate. And he came back like 10 minutes after I did the change and said, okay, cool. You have a good day then. uh, that was the only time I ever gave anyone a hard time, but it was just so funny because you could tell he was embarrassed in why he wanted me to change the name, and he could not say the reason behind it at all. It was just like a game of cat and mouse with him. I wasn't recording him or anything. I was just having a little fun with the guy. And so before he left, I go, I still don't understand what's going on here. And he goes, you'll figure out when you grow up. And he logged off, and I just laughed. That was so fun. So we can zone in. Now, with Star Wars Galaxies, after the LU 2 change, they made it a little easier to get force sensitive. So I was the 30th character on our server to get force sensitive, which wasn't half bad. Uh, and I had a lot of fun with that. I got hunted by the server's top bounty hunter, and this guy was 100% gets his kills all the time, except when he came after me. I spent 1 month fighting this guy on a daily basis to where it was impossible to grind or even level up. But luckily, I got a lot of my Jedi skills in place before he came after me. I just happened to get nabbed by someone watching me that I didn't realize they were, and they kept, following me around and continue to report me by, how the system works. So that bounty hunter decided to come after me. He played a combat medic bounty hunter, and you know where this is going. Combat medics were so overpowered after ELU2 and into ELU3 that that stuff hits you, it screwed you over hard. Thankfully, since I was playing as a defender, I worked into the defender. What is it? There's Chancellor. Didn't want that one. It was what Obi-Wan was. I can't remember what it was. I think it's the defender one. Um, I went with the resistances, the run speed, and saber throw. So I went up those tree branches, and I got most of everything I wanted. So I got a lot of the resistances. So he came after me, started throwing his combat medics, shooting at me, and I threw my lightsaber at him, knocked him down, and I would start running because I know that his combat medics would do me in if he throws enough of them on me, and I just wanted to, kind of keep it as a running fight, which was the best antic for me. So, long story short, after a month of him trying to hunt me, unfortunately, real life got a hold of me and made it so I couldn't play the game anymore. He never did get me. And I survived a month of daily attacks because I played daily. And we would spend anywhere from 2 to 7 hours of straight gameplay of him just chasing me around the galaxy. No joke. I finally got a hold of him just not too long ago because he remembered me from another, because he happened to be playing Overwatch, believe it or not. And he saw my name and he asked me a few questions and I answered him and he goes, "Oh, so you're that Bothran from Star Wars Galaxies that I never got." I'm like, "Holy cow!" And I was literally surprised. And this was in Overwatch, and he remembered my name from Star Wars Galaxies that I used, and I was using the same name on Overwatch. It was just so funny. And we sat down for about a half hour talking. He said that I costed him the most money of any Jedi that he's ever hunted. And he went through some of the stuff that he could remember. He said he went through like 10 crates of the highest level armor he had, 30 crates of speeders, numerous crates of combat medics, drugs, and all that, equivalent to millions and millions of credits, like something around 20 million credits plus or more. And he still couldn't get me. And he kind of was sad that I suddenly disappeared and left because he said I was the only person that gave him a challenge because of the way I fought and the way I run. I would do a fighting type battle, but then I would turn around and ambush him when he thought I was just going to keep running and running and running. And I did ambush tactics on him constantly. And it was just kind of fun. He really liked the fact that I actually tried to fight him and I would ambush him and surprise him at times. I nearly killed him twice out of that entire month. If I could have killed him, I would have been on the bounty list. That would have been so awesome. But I got him down to 1% of his health and he just healed back up. Oh man, it It was intense. It was literally intense. One time he was fighting me and I had to go to work. I'm like, dude, you mind letting me log off so I can go to work? I have to be at work. I'm already running late. And he goes, I'm not going to let you go to work unless you let me kill you. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to let you kill me. Then you don't need to go to work. And I go, okay. So I got away from him, put down a house, locked the door as soon as he was just about to open it and walk in and attack me, and pretty much made a safe place to log off. So I got to work an hour and a half late because of that guy. That was on my birthday too. And you want to know what my work did? Is they go, oh, we know it's your birthday and we know you're a smart person and you should get into the career field you should be in. So we're just letting you go. Have a nice day. So I was fired on my birthday. Not because I was late, because that was the first time I was ever late on the job. The reason behind it was this Starbucks owner wanted to have an all-female staff to make more money in tips because she was realizing that the tips that they were getting were much better with female staff. And so she was taking advantage of that in a downtown location. So you get where I'm coming from. So I was replaced by a female coworker, and all the males at that location were all fired. Every single one, even the dishwashers to the people who cleaned, everyone, and all the females that worked there for the next like year were all hot chicks. Yeah, think about that. But when they realized that there was a discrepancy, it took them a year to figure this out. They went back and looked, and they saw that she only hired females only, and they're all good-looking females, every single one of them, and refused males. So she was then fired, and another manager came in and started properly regulating the jobs. I've experienced a lot of BS in my lifetime. But the most memorable games was Star Wars Galaxies, Everquest, and World of Warcraft on certain circumstances, and City Heroes because I really like that one too. All right, Prime and TB, we're ready to do this. Oh yeah, there's no reason to. Here we go. There we go. Might as well throw that on as well. So I got 2 dots, 2 DDs. That's for the 85 for the phase. I'm just gonna basically play the nuke and dot game as a Beast Lord against the boss. Because he puts up a DS shield that my pet can't survive against very long, nor myself, so. So that was the first time I was ever let go on a job. Alright, here we go. The actual real attempt on this guy. Help with healing for a bit. What I'm doing is helping the healers.
Gift of Mana. Gift of Mana.
Roar of Thunder. Ooh, these are high aggro. I'm hitting him with an unresistible spell, along
Gift
with
of
a
Mana.
massive DD spell. Here comes Paragon.
Failed to feign death. Stand up. Silk Talon stand up. FD fail. Gift of Mana. Failed to feign death. Stand up. Silk Talon stand up. FD fail.
Healing myself till it's gone. We're trying to get it before it leashes. Nice, we got it. Woo! We got him! Very nice. With 2 deaths remaining. Nice. Whew. That is awesome. We got the T2 one down. Looks like this is the last of the raids for tonight. Let's see what type of loot we get. All right, no problem. We'll be showing what type of loot we got here in a moment. Chest is now open. We did really well. We did a quick test on this guy, and we got as far as we could. They figured it out. Second time we hit him, took him down. It's a nice belt. Whoa! Ratio on that one-hander? Damn! Wow, that's a huge upgrade. everything's going for real high, except for the belt is just decent, but now it's going high. So definitely not be bidding on anything right now. No point. It's too expensive. All right, someone got the level 90 shard. Congratulations. Yeah, this stuff bidding here. The Scantling Cape of Garden Grove for about 38. The belt for pruning 13, going up still. The Strike Remnant of Devotion 50. Celestial Biarius 31, and the Remnant of Knowledge for 24. The only cheap thing here is the belt for 15. It's a good belt. All right, that looks like to be it for everything. All right, so we're going to be coming back Saturday to do two more T2 progression. That means killing some more T2 raids. We already have our progression for group stuff done. So all we have is just raids to get up and higher. Okay. So, anyways, with that being said, this is our last raid for the night. We've completed everything. We got our two raid targets down for the evening in 2 shots each, which was really good. And we're looking forward to continuing on through the T2 up into the T3 content as quickly as we can. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Unlike Underfoot, which was a bullshit expansion, as everybody is saying, this one's a much funner expansion. Anyways, we'll be back Saturday to do more T2 content, getting further progression in, and maybe into the T3s if we're fast enough. But we're not expected it until start T3 until next week. So we'll see how far we get. Um, Other than that, thank you for watching. If you like what you see, please hit that follow button. And thank you for watching, everyone. I'll see you next raid night, which will be Saturday at 7 o'clock. Have a good night. Be safe. Be well, everyone. Take care. Sylv Talon out.